T.K. Sundaresa Iyer. Every second we spend hearing or reading about the old devotees of Bhagavan, we naturally walk in their footsteps. And we move closer to that same Arunachala, the self, in whom they were reabsorbed. Hearing about them from old devotees like Vishwanatha Swami, Kunju Swami, Annamalai Swami, and others dissolved me into states of silent ecstasy. To experience this ecstasy, all we need to do is listen to Bhagavan. Shift your attention from unreality to reality. Unreality is the body-mind complex and the world. Let us shift our attention from the unreality of thoughts to the reality of living in the immortal presence of these glorious devotees. In the Hindu culture and tradition, we are all familiar with the term Guru, its meaning and significance. Nevertheless, a few may not recognize the significance of an Upaguru. We owe equal respect to the Upaguru, the one who points us to the Guru. The Upaguru may be a book, a tree, or a friend. It does not matter. The Upaguru and the Guru are to be looked upon with equal regard and reverence. We are as indebted to the Upaguru as we are to the Guru. I happen to have two Upagurus. My first Upaguru is my mother. My first memory is of the time when I was 1.5 years old. I was in the cradle and my mother was singing a lullaby, a Ramana lullaby. Every time she wanted to make me sleep, she sang that Ramana lullaby. When I close my eyes and pay attention to my heart, even now, I can hear my mother singing that lullaby. She sowed the seeds of my devotion to my master. When I was a crawling baby, she would seat me in front of Bhagwan. When I grew up, she would tell me every day, go and prostrate before Bhagwan, look into his eyes and receive his blessings. When I began school and shared any episode with her, she would say, go and tell Bhagwan. If I got a new pen, my mother would say, go and show it to Bhagwan, place it in his hand and receive it back. Until she died, this loving mother's one commandment to me was, Bhagwan is enough for you. You need nothing else. My second Upaguru is my school teacher T.K. Sundaresa Iyer. We used to call him TKS. His humility was exceptional and his simplicity extraordinary. He was my teacher in the 6th grade and paid a lot of attention to me. Every day he would come to Ramana Ashramam. He took particular interest in me. He would call out, Ganesha, come here, a holy man has come, prostrate before him. Or, Ganesha, come here, a lady saint has come, prostrate before her. Or, this Swamiji has come from the Shankar Mutt, prostrate before him. He would prostrate and command me do so as well. So much so that some people in Ramana Ashramam would object to this and say, TKS is a crazy man and he is making Ganeshan crazy too. He makes him prostrate before eccentric people, saying that they are all holy saints and sages. I believe it is the extraordinary grace of my master Bhagwan which guided me to TKS, my teacher. Later when I grew up, it was he who introduced me to the saints and sages of India, either in the body or without the body. It was he who directed me to Swami Ramdas. Swami Ramdas saw that his spiritual heir, Mother Krishnabai, was the one to guide me all my life. There were a few living saints, like Tiruchi Swami. Even when he was almost unknown, TKS would make me prostrate before him. When Yogi Ramsurat Kumar was absolutely unknown in Tiruvannamalai, he would sit in silence with TKS for hours. One day, TKS pointing at Yogi told me, Ganesha, here is a Siddha Purusha. Give him some food, he is hungry. I ran to the kitchen, brought food and offered it to Yogi. The only process by which the spiritual heart opens up is that which my master Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi described. It is like a lotus bud in which the petals have to be opened. Only when the petals open can you have spiritual experiences. Reading scriptures or practicing spiritual disciplines cannot open this. No yoga can open it. Only the look, the proximity and the blessings of holy people who have already trodden the path works. Just by one look, they can make one petal open in your heart. This is not just a euphemism. For me, each petal was opened by contact with a particular master. Once, I asked TKS, when we have Bhagwan as our teacher, why are you directing me to saints? He gave me this beautiful clarification. Bhagwan is the vast ocean.
He is the cosmic consciousness, while all the sages and saintly people are like rivers. Where do you stand, Ganesha? I want you to be at least a drop of water. You come to know yourself to be a drop of water only when you recognize the love of the rivers, rivulets, and streams that actually take you to the ocean. The ultimate end of all movement of water, our scriptures say, is to reach the vast ocean from where it comes. It is a cycle. To be a part of the ocean, you must become conscious that you are already a drop of water. That drop of water has to merge with rivers to reach the ocean. A drop of water will not otherwise be able to be the ocean. This teacher taught me humility, silence, and the greatness of saints and devout people. Without recognizing the greatness of saintly people, humility will not come, because one will be dominated by the worldly mind. It was he who revealed to me for the first time that Arunachala is Ramana and Ramana is Arunachala, the self. In the early days of my life as a resident of the ashram in the 1960s, I realized by dint of my study of Sri Bhagwan's books on self-inquiry, and thanks to my association with the direct disciples of Sri Bhagwan, the uniqueness of his direct teaching of self-inquiry. However, in my youthful fervor and enthusiasm, I began to think poorly of the efficacy of other, less direct paths such as bhakti, karma, and yoga. Little did it occur to me that Sri Bhagwan himself has often spoken in praise of such systems, although he always taught that they ultimately merge in self-inquiry. The watchful and caring eyes of my teacher T.K. Sundaresa Iyer did not miss all this. He came to me one night and gave me an ashram library book, The Life and Teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa by his Eastern and Western devotees, 400 and odd pages, and insisted that I read it. By the time I had read 50 pages, my whole being bowed down before this great saint of Dakshineshwar, and my spiritual life attained a new dimension. From then on, Sri Bhagwan's Vachnamritam, that is, talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi, and Sri Ramakrishna's Kathamritam, that is, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, became my supreme spiritual guides. During my spiritual inner journey, I could meet with nearly 30 Mahatmas who opened one internal window after the other in me. I understood the immense wisdom and importance of what Sri Bhagwan once declared. What I preach is devotional inquiry, and the absence of thoughts is bhakti. It is also mukti. The jnana method is said to be vichara, inquiry. That is nothing but supreme devotion, parabhakti. The difference is in words only. Talks number 650.